You won't believe who walked into court and called Kody dad in front of everyone. Hello friends, I am Elena, welcome to my channel. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. The Sister Wives world has never been short on shocking twists, but what recently unfolded inside a courthouse left even the most devoted followers speechless. When the Brown family saga first began, it was about Kody Brown balancing his plural marriages, his complicated relationships with Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, and raising a large family under the scrutiny of reality television cameras. Over the years, the cracks in Kody's life have widened, from estranged children to divorces, financial turmoil, and bitter accusations. But no one could have prepared for the jaw-dropping moment when, in the middle of an already tense court session, someone walked through the doors, called Kody dad in front of the entire room, and turned the narrative upside down. The hearing itself was tied to the ongoing disputes surrounding the family's property, Coyote Pass, financial disagreements, and rumors of deeper legal trouble involving unpaid debts and disputes between the wives. Tensions were already running high as Kody, once the central patriarch, was visibly under pressure. His wives, former and current, have gradually distanced themselves from him, leaving Robin as his only official partner. Fans speculated that the court appearance would reveal financial mismanagement or yet another fallout from years of reality TV exposure. But instead, the moment everyone now talks about had nothing to do with land or money. It was about identity, belonging, and the question of who Kody Brown really is to the people around him. As witnesses were being called and lawyers shuffled papers, the door opened. A figure entered quietly at first, but with a presence that immediately shifted the energy in the room. Observers describe an audible murmur running through the crowd, as though people were piecing together the face they were seeing with the tangled history of the Brown family. And then, in words that echoed off the courtroom walls, that figure addressed Kody, not as Mr. Brown, not as Kody, not even with the hostility some of his estranged children now express, but with a word no one expected: Dad! The room fell into stunned silence. Even Kody himself appeared rattled, blinking rapidly as if trying to process the reality of what had just happened. For years, Kody has been criticized for the way he treats his children, with accusations of favoritism toward Robin's kids, neglect toward others, and a lack of accountability for the pain his choices caused. Some of his biological children, like Garrison and Gabriel, spoke openly about their fractured relationship with him, while others quietly distanced themselves. Yet, here was someone stepping into the middle of his legal chaos and claiming that paternal bond in front of everyone. The identity of the person matters as much as the words they chose. For some, it was shocking because this wasn't one of the children audiences have seen on TLC. This wasn't one of the known sons or daughters of the Sister Wives clan. Instead, it was someone tied to the family through years of speculation, whispers, and unconfirmed stories, a person many believed Kody had long ignored or possibly even denied. Courtroom became the stage for a reveal that blurred the line between personal truth and public drama. Observers noted the visible reactions. Robin appeared stunned, almost frozen, her eyes darting between Kody and the person who had just spoken. Mary, often quiet in moments of conflict, reportedly showed a flicker of emotion across her face, part disbelief, part recognition. Janelle, who has always tried to keep her composure, lowered her head slightly as though processing the weight of the revelation. And Christine, who has already distanced herself from Kody emotionally and physically, seemed both unsurprised and vindicated, as if she had expected this day might come. The word dad carries immense power in a family as fractured as the Browns. It represents belonging, acknowledgement, and a bond that many of Kody's children feel he has abandoned. To hear someone claim that title for him, especially someone previously hidden from the spotlight, left fans buzzing with questions. Was this an estranged child Kody never acknowledged publicly? Was this a stepchild who still saw him as a father figure despite the chaos? Or was it someone entirely unexpected, whose story might change how we view the patriarch altogether? For years, the Brown family narrative has been about unraveling connections. Christine leaving, Janelle asserting independence, Mary officially cut off, and the children voicing their hurt. The center, Kody has insisted he is misunderstood, that his efforts as a father and husband have been twisted by the show's editing and by bitterness from those around him. Yet, in one instant, all of that was overshadowed by the surprise declaration inside the courtroom. When someone calls you dad in front of a judge, lawyers, reporters, and family, it becomes more than a personal moment. It becomes a public declaration of identity and truth. The impact was immediate. Court, already tense, seemed to pause in disbelief. Reporters scrambled to write notes, capturing the unprecedented twist in a case already tied to a famous reality family. Fans online began speculating wildly, piecing together timelines, old rumors, and family secrets. Was this the child of a past relationship? Someone Kody had financially supported quietly? Or a person connected through the plural marriage lifestyle that has always hovered at the edges of the Brown family story? For Kody, the moment was both shocking and telling. Witnesses described him shifting uncomfortably, trying to maintain composure but clearly struggling. His carefully crafted narrative of being a misunderstood father was now colliding with an unexpected reality. To the court, it may have been one dramatic interruption. To fans, it was a reminder that the story of Kody Brown is far from finished. His past continues to resurface, his present is riddled with conflict, and his future seems more uncertain than ever. The declaration of dad wasn't just about one person, it was about all the children, wives, and extended family members who have questioned where they stand with him. It highlighted the fractured family dynamic and raised deeper questions about fatherhood, responsibility, and truth. How many people in Kody's orbit feel abandoned, overlooked, or denied? How many, despite all the pain, still see him as their father, even if he hasn't lived up to that role? In the days since, conversations have exploded across social media, with fans speculating on the identity of the person and debating what this means for the Brown family's legacy. Some see it as redemption, that perhaps someone still values Kody as a father. Others see it as exposure, that hidden truths about his past are finally being dragged into the light. What's undeniable is that this moment has cemented itself as one of the most shocking twists in Sister Wives history, and so the question remains: who truly walked into that courtroom and called Kody dad? Was it a long-lost child, a stepchild whose loyalty never wavered, or someone tied to a chapter of Kody's life the cameras never captured? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain: this revelation has rewritten the Brown family narrative yet again, leaving fans with more questions than answers and leaving Kody. For years, fans of Sister Wives have followed the tangled web of Kody Brown's plural marriage and the complicated family dynamics that unraveled in front of the cameras. From the early days of the show, Kody portrayed himself as a devoted husband juggling multiple marriages with fairness and balance, but as time went on, cracks began to form. Now, in a shocking admission, Kody Brown has finally confessed that he lied about the true state of his relationships with his ex-wives. This revelation has sent shockwaves through the fan community and raises pressing questions about how much of the Brown family's story was genuine and how much was carefully crafted for television. Kody's admission does not come lightly. For over a decade, he insisted that his marriages were based on faith, love, and unity. He often claimed that he gave equal time, attention, and affection to all four wives: Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin. But fans witnessed a very different story. Over time, Christine openly expressed her dissatisfaction and loneliness, Janelle admitted struggles with independence, and Mary endured years of neglect and emotional isolation. Despite these tensions, Kody repeatedly downplayed the problems, insisting in interviews and confessionals that he was fully committed to maintaining strong bonds with all his wives. Now, however, he has admitted that he painted a picture that simply wasn't true. According to his own words, Kody says that the narrative he pushed was designed to protect both the family and his own image. He acknowledged that even when some of his relationships were effectively broken, he continued to tell the public, and even his children, that everything was fine. He admits that when Christine said she was heartbroken over his lack of intimacy, he denied it publicly, claiming they were working things out. He now confesses that he knew their marriage was over long before Christine officially announced her departure, but he lied to avoid scandal. The most shocking part of his confession relates to Mary. For years, Kody maintained that he and Mary had a bond, albeit a strained one. He told fans he still cared for her, that they were working on things, and that there was always hope. But in his latest revelation, he admitted he had emotionally checked out of his marriage to Mary years earlier. He explained that he lied because he didn't want to be seen as a man who abandoned his first wife, especially since their marriage was the legal foundation of his polygamous family. By his own admission, he allowed Mary to believe there was still a chance while privately telling others that their relationship was over with Janelle. Kody confessed that his public statements about cooperation and mutual respect were misleading. He often praised Janelle for being independent, claiming that their unique arrangement worked because she didn't demand constant attention. But in reality, he admits he neglected her needs and failed to nurture their marriage. He revealed that his connection to Janelle was more businesslike than romantic for years, and he was dishonest when he suggested otherwise. This for Robyn, the wife who has long been considered his favorite. Kody acknowledges that he lied about treating all his wives equally. For years he denied favoritism, but fans could clearly see the difference. He now admits that his bond with Robyn became his primary focus, and that he misled both his wives and the audience when he claimed to be equally invested in all relationships. This honesty confirms what many viewers suspected, that his devotion to Robyn contributed heavily to the downfall of his other marriages. The admission has not only angered fans but also deeply affected the Brown family itself. Christine, who has long maintained that she left because of dishonesty and neglect, feels validated. She has pointed out repeatedly that her concerns were dismissed by Kody, who insisted she was exaggerating. Now, with his confession, Christine's version of events has been vindicated. Janelle has also expressed frustration that she spent years believing Kody's assurances only to find out he was misleading her and the public. Mary, on the other hand, has responded with a mix of sadness and resignation. After years of clinging to the hope that her marriage might be repaired, she has been forced to face the fact that Kody abandoned her emotionally far earlier than she realized. What makes this revelation particularly significant is that it dismantles the central narrative of sister wives. The show began as a glimpse into the world of a functioning polygamous family built on faith and cooperation. But Kody's admission suggests that much of that image was a facade. Fans now question whether the series itself was ever an authentic representation of polygamy or simply a performance crafted for ratings and reputation. The broader implication of Kody's admission is that it forces a re-evaluation of his credibility. If he was willing to misrepresent his relationships to protect himself, what else did he mislead viewers about? Many fans feel betrayed, having invested more than a decade into following the Brown family's story. They believed they were watching real struggles, but now it appears they were also watching a carefully edited and sometimes deceptive portrayal. For Kody himself, this admission seems to be a moment of reluctant honesty rather than genuine remorse. While he has acknowledged his lies, he has also justified them by saying he was trying to protect the family's public image and shield his children from scandal. But critics argue that this justification is hollow, as the lies only prolonged the pain and confusion for everyone involved. His children have spoken publicly about the strain in their relationships with him, and this revelation will likely deepen those divides. Looking ahead, the question is whether this honesty marks the beginning of a new chapter for Kody or just another attempt to control the narrative. Some fans believe he is preparing to rebrand himself now that his marriages with Mary, Janelle, and Christine have ended, leaving him legally and emotionally tied only to Robyn. Others see it as a desperate move to maintain relevance as the show's original premise, one man managing 4 marriages, has collapsed. Either way, the damage has been done. By admitting he lied, Kody has confirmed what many suspected, that the story of the Brown family was never as harmonious as he claimed. His ex-wives now stand in positions of strength, having moved on from relationships that were built on half-truths. Christine has built a new life with a supportive partner, Janelle continues to embrace her independence, and Mary is carving out a path of self-discovery beyond the shadow of Kody. For fans, this confession might bring closure, but it also raises lasting doubts about reality television itself. How much of what is shown can truly be trusted? When the central figure of a long-running series admits he fabricated aspects of his personal life, it undermines not only his credibility but also the integrity of the show. In the end, Kody Brown's admission may be remembered as the moment when the carefully constructed image of a united plural family finally crumbled completely. His lies may have preserved his reputation for a time, but the truth has caught up with him. Now, his ex-wives stand as living proof of the damage caused by dishonesty, and fans are left questioning whether they ever really knew the man at the center of Sister Wives. Kody Brown and Robin Brown have been at the center of countless discussions about polygamy since the very beginning of Sister Wives. The show was originally launched to highlight the complexities of plural marriage, focusing on how one man and multiple wives could build a family while navigating faith, jealousy, finances, and emotional challenges. Over more than a decade, viewers watched Kody attempt to balance his marriages with Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin. But as the years rolled on, those marriages fractured, leaving Robin as Kody's only remaining wife. This reality has sparked ongoing curiosity among fans about whether Kody and Robin would ever consider returning to a plural lifestyle if circumstances changed. In a candid discussion, both Kody and Robin have addressed the question head-on, and their responses reveal just how much their experiences in polygamy have shaped their present and their future. For Kody, polygamy was once a calling deeply rooted in his spiritual beliefs. He entered into plural marriage with the idea that it was a sacred duty, a way to build a large, faith-based family and a lifestyle that was pleasing to God. His words across many seasons of the show always emphasized sacrifice, responsibility, and devotion to a higher purpose. However, the collapse of his marriages to Mary, Janelle, and Christine left behind visible scars. Kody has admitted that the pain, bitterness, and sense of betrayal he felt throughout the unraveling of those marriages made him reevaluate whether plural marriage truly worked in practice, even if it seemed noble in principle. Robin's perspective adds another layer to the conversation. Unlike Kody's other wives, Robin came into the family later, already understanding that plural marriage required compromise. From the beginning, she expressed her belief in the principle and was eager to embrace the family as a whole, not just Kody as her husband. Yet as time passed, Robin found herself increasingly isolated as the other wives grew more frustrated with Kody's actions and perceived favoritism. By the time the family reached its breaking point, Robin was left carrying not only her own disappointment but also the weight of being seen as the last wife standing. For Robin, this was never the plan. She has repeatedly said that she wanted sisterhood, companionship, and the joys of sharing life with other women alongside her husband. Losing that dream has left her feeling disillusioned. So, would they ever go back? Kody has been brutally honest in his answer. He has said that he no longer believes polygamy is viable for him. The fractures with his other wives were too painful, and he has learned that trying to manage multiple relationships only fueled conflict, resentment, and competition rather than harmony. He admits that he once thought he was capable of doing it successfully, but reality proved otherwise. He now believes that committing himself to one marriage with Robin is the only sustainable path forward. In his words, he simply doesn't have the strength or desire to start again with additional wives, nor does he feel God is calling him to pursue it anymore. Robin, however, offers a more nuanced response. She still believes in the principle of plural marriage as part of her faith. She has shared that she feels heartbreak over how things turned out and sometimes grieves the loss of what she hoped the family could have been. But while she holds on to her belief in the concept, she acknowledges that going back into polygamy at this point in life is unrealistic. She recognizes that the trust has been broken between Kody and the other wives, and starting over with new wives would only bring more turmoil. Robin has expressed her loyalty to Kody and her willingness to support his choice to remain monogamous with her, even though it's not what she originally envisioned when she joined the family. For viewers who have followed their journey, these revelations are bittersweet. Some fans feel that Kody and Robin were destined to end up in a monogamous marriage all along, pointing to years of tension that suggested Kody gave Robin preferential treatment. Others see the outcome as a tragedy of sorts, where ideals of family unity and shared sisterhood were lost to jealousy, control struggles, and lack of balance. Still, the Brown story has sparked national conversations about whether polygamy can ever truly work in modern society outside of small, insular religious groups. Kody has also acknowledged that the legal and social climate has shifted over the years. When the show first aired, part of the family's motivation was to normalize polygamy and show the world that their lifestyle was about love and commitment, not coercion or abuse. But with legal scrutiny and changing public perception, Kody has admitted that the risks of plural marriage don't outweigh the potential benefits anymore. He sees no practical or spiritual incentive to try again. His current priority is focusing on the children he still actively parents and nurturing his relationship with Robyn. Robyn, meanwhile, has hinted at the loneliness she feels as the only wife. She has spoken about missing the companionship of other women in the household, the shared duties, and the bond of raising children together as sister wives. But despite this longing, she has stated clearly that she would never pressure Kody into returning to polygamy or seek new wives herself. She knows that Kody's heart is no longer in it, and she respects his decision to walk away from the lifestyle they once embraced. Their joint conclusion, therefore, is that polygamy is part of their past, not their future. While Robyn may always carry a belief in the principle, and Kody may always be defined by the years he spent practicing it, the reality is that they are now moving forward as a monogamous couple. This revelation is not only a personal milestone for them but also a symbolic turning point for the entire Sister Wives narrative. The show that began as an exploration of polygamy has now become a portrait of what happens when polygamy fails. Fans continue to speculate about whether Kody might change his mind if Robyn ever encouraged it, or if life circumstances shifted dramatically. But both have made it clear that their priority is stability, peace, and healing. For Kody, the emotional toll of his broken marriages remains too heavy to risk repeating the cycle. For Robyn, the dream of sisterhood has faded, replaced by a pragmatic commitment to the marriage she has now. Together, they have drawn a line under their polygamous past and are choosing a different path, one that aligns more with mainstream relationships than the plural marriage they once championed. In the end, Kody and Robyn's story underscores how complex and fragile plural marriage can be. What began as a bold statement of faith and family evolved into a painful unraveling that left only one marriage intact. Their reflections on whether they'd ever go back to polygamy reveal a mix of nostalgia, heartbreak, and acceptance. And while they may never return to that lifestyle, their journey has left a lasting mark on reality television and on the broader conversation about love, faith, and the pursuit of family in unconventional forms. Sister Wives Kody Brown has never been a man to shy away from controversy, but his most recent confession about Robyn Brown is one that left both fans and critics stunned. Over the years, the Brown family has navigated challenges, heartbreak, and shifting dynamics, but through it all, Robyn has remained a central figure. Now, Kody has admitted something bold and deeply personal, a statement that changes the way many people view not only his relationship with Robyn but also his choices as the leader of a once large plural family. His confession has reignited debates about loyalty, favoritism, and what truly caused the collapse of his marriages to Meri, Janelle, and Christine. In his words, Kody revealed that his connection with Robyn was not just about love but about something much deeper. He confessed that she was the only wife who made him feel truly understood. According to him, Robyn has been the partner who consistently supported him when others questioned his decisions, the one who defended him even when the cameras stopped rolling. He boldly admitted that from the moment he met Robyn, he knew she was the wife who would transform his life, and despite the complications it created in his existing marriages, he never regretted choosing her. For fans who have followed the family since the early days of Sister Wives, this statement may not come as a complete surprise, but hearing Kody openly say it has sparked an intense reaction. Many longtime viewers felt that Kody's relationships with his original 3 wives began unraveling the moment Robyn entered the picture. He had always denied claims of favoritism, insisting that his love for each wife was equal and that his plural marriage worked because of balance. But his confession now suggests otherwise. By declaring that Robyn gave him something the other wives never could, he has indirectly validated what Meri, Janelle, and Christine had been expressing for years, that his marriage to Robyn was prioritized above theirs. Christine was the first to publicly walk away, citing neglect, betrayal, and a lack of partnership. Janelle later admitted she no longer felt connected to him, while Meri endured years of emotional distance before finally stepping away as well. In every account, the same theme appeared. Robyn was the favored wife. Kody had always pushed back against that narrative, claiming the cameras exaggerated certain dynamics, but his bold confession, The Veil, makes clear that, in his heart, Robyn was always the one he placed at the center. He went further to confess that he often struggled to maintain emotional intimacy with his other wives once Robin became part of the family. He explained that while he valued his history with Mary, his friendship with Janelle, and his years of raising children with Christine, none of those bonds compared to what he experienced with Robin. For him, Robin represented not just a partner but a soulmate, someone whose devotion to him reinforced his identity as a husband and father. This honesty is raw, and it has unsettled many fans who hoped that, at the very least, Kody would continue to show respect for the bonds he once had with his other wives. What makes this confession even more controversial is the timing. With most of his other marriages dissolved and his relationship with his older children strained, many believe Kody no longer has to balance appearances. He can now openly admit what was always suspected. His marriage with Robin is not only his priority but his ultimate focus. He has confessed that he does not feel guilt about the past, because in his mind, choosing Robin fully and without hesitation was the only way he could remain authentic to himself. Still, the confession raises serious questions about the very foundation of polygamy. From the start, Kody felt a singular loyalty to Robin. Was plural marriage ever sustainable in his family? Some fans argue that his words expose the flaws in the entire experiment. Others believe this moment of clarity could be healing for him, allowing him to move forward without the weight of denying his truth. However, for the women who invested decades of their lives in the marriage, Kody's admission may feel like a final dismissal of their sacrifices. For Mary, who was his first wife and who legally married him, hearing Kody publicly confess that Robin was always his true partner could be deeply painful. She endured years of isolation and rejection, often clinging to the hope that their relationship could improve. For Janelle, who valued practicality and teamwork in her marriage with Kody, his words highlight that her contributions were never enough to secure his heart. For Christine, who bravely left after realizing she deserved more, the confession may confirm that walking away was the best decision she ever made. Fans have flooded social media with mixed reactions. Some appreciate Kody's honesty, arguing that it is better for him to be open about his feelings rather than continue pretending. Others feel outraged, calling his confession disrespectful to the wives and children who gave him years of loyalty. Many believe this is less about love and more about control, pointing out that Robin's willingness to comply with Kody's vision made her his favorite, not some extraordinary compatibility. Confession, therefore, becomes not just about love but about power and influence within the family. Robin herself has remained relatively quiet about Kody's remarks, but her body language in recent interviews suggests she is aware of how much criticism is being directed her way. While she has often insisted she never intended to come between Kody and the other wives, the confession makes it clear that whether or not she intended it, her presence redefined the family forever. Robin has often spoken about her faith in plural marriage, but ironically, she is now the sole legal and spiritual partner of Kody, which places her in a monogamous role despite the family's original intentions. The boldness of Kody's confession is not just in the words themselves but in the way they force everyone, his wives, children, and fans, to re-evaluate the truth of his story. It reveals that the narrative of equality was never entirely accurate. It shows that love in practice is rarely evenly divided, and it acknowledges that his relationship with Robin has always been the centerpiece. Whether people respect or resent his honesty, it undeniably changes the way the public perceives the Brown family. At the end of the day, Kody Brown's confession about Robin is both a declaration of love and a controversial admission of favoritism. It is bold because it cuts through years of denial and exposes what so many had already guessed. Yet it is also damaging because it minimizes the significance of the lives and relationships he built with his other wives. By stating that Robin is the one who truly understands and fulfills him, Kody is rewriting his legacy in a way that leaves little room for the sacrifices and heartache of Mary, Janelle, and Christine. Whether viewers admire his honesty or condemn his arrogance, one thing is certain: this confession will be remembered as one of the most pivotal and polarizing moments in the ongoing. Kody Brown, the controversial star of Sister Wives, has never shied away from speaking his mind. Over the years, fans have seen him navigate the complicated dynamics of plural marriage, face heated confrontations with his wives, and endure public scrutiny about his choices. But his latest confession may be one of the most revealing yet. Kody recently admitted that his public displays of affection with his fourth wife, Robyn Brown, came at a heavy cost, one that ultimately fractured the already fragile balance in the Brown family. For years, TLC viewers have watched the Browns struggle with jealousy, resentment, and shifting loyalties. Kody has often been accused of favoring Robyn, a narrative that has only intensified as his marriages with Meri, Janelle, and Christine collapsed. Now, Kody himself acknowledges that his behavior with Robyn, particularly his comfort with showing affection in public, became a flashpoint that alienated the other wives and sparked irreversible conflict. In his own words, Kody revealed, "I was kicked out, metaphorically speaking, for PDA with Robyn. The family saw it, they felt it, and they resented it. Cost me dearly. What I thought was harmless affection actually set in motion the unraveling of relationships I never wanted to lose." The idea of being kicked out may not be literal, but Kody describes it as the moment he realized he no longer had the same place in the larger family structure. His bond with Robyn, while real and meaningful to him, unintentionally highlighted the lack of intimacy he shared with his other wives. Fans recall multiple moments on the show where Kody openly hugged, kissed, or held Robyn's hand, while his interactions with Meri, Janelle, or Christine felt distant and strained. Kody admits now that he underestimated how deeply such moments would cut. "You think a little hand-holding or a kiss doesn't mean much," he said, "but in a plural marriage, every gesture is weighed, every word is judged. What looks like normal romance between a husband and wife becomes proof of favoritism when there are other wives watching. I didn't think it through. I should have been more careful, but I wasn't." Christine Brown was one of the first to voice her discontent about Kody and Robyn's closeness. Long before her official separation, Christine admitted feeling invisible compared to Robyn. Janelle, though less confrontational, also recognized the imbalance. Even Meri, who was already on fragile terms with Kody, described feeling pushed further aside when she saw how attentive he was to Robyn. Kody says that their criticisms hurt him at the time, but he can now admit that they weren't without merit. "When I showed affection to Robyn, I thought I was just being a husband," Kody explained. "But the truth is, I was being inconsiderate. I didn't consider how it would look or how it would make the others feel. And when they spoke up, I got defensive. That defensiveness only widened the divide." This self-reflection comes at a pivotal moment for Kody. With Christine having left, Janelle estranged, and Meri officially moving on, Kody is essentially left with only Robyn. The irony, he says, is that the very affection that bonded him to Robyn also built walls between him and everyone else. "Cost me my," he admitted bluntly. "That's the reality. I thought love could be expressed freely, but in this lifestyle it can't be. The family structure doesn't allow for it. If you lean too hard into one relationship, the others collapse. And that's exactly what happened to me." For fans, this admission doesn't come as a total surprise. Many viewers have long pointed out that Robyn appeared to be the only wife Kody treated as a true partner in recent years. His frequent explanations that his other marriages lacked romance only added fuel to the fire. Now, by acknowledging that his public affection with Robyn triggered resentment, Kody seems to be validating what his wives had been saying all along. Till some argue that this admission is too little too late. Christine, for example, has built a new life outside the plural family, and her decision to leave was rooted in years of neglect and disappointment. Janelle has voiced similar frustrations about being sidelined. And Meri, despite her loyalty for many years, ultimately realized that her relationship with Kody was essentially over long before their official split. Yet Kody's words suggest that he is grappling with regret. "I didn't intend to hurt anyone," he said. "But I did. I thought I could balance it all, and I was wrong. The more I tried to protect my relationship with Robyn, the more I lost the others. And now I'm left wondering if it was worth it." Comment about being kicked out resonates deeply with fans because it symbolizes Kody's fall from the role he once cherished, patriarch of a large, united plural family. What was once portrayed as a cooperative lifestyle built on faith and commitment has unraveled into a fractured network of strained relationships. Kody's confession highlights just how fragile polygamous marriages can be when favoritism, whether real or perceived, enters the picture. Interestingly, Robin herself has often been caught in the middle of these conflicts. She has expressed guilt about being the wife who seemed to receive more attention, while also acknowledging that she and Kody shared a different kind of bond. In Kody's view, Robin never asked to be the favored one, but the natural chemistry they shared made it difficult for him to hold back. That chemistry, however, carried consequences far beyond what either of them expected. Kody summed it up this way: "I don't regret loving Robin. I don't regret choosing her. But I do regret the way I handled things. I should have been more discreet, more thoughtful. Instead, I let my emotions guide me, and it tore my family apart." This candid admission may not repair his relationships with his ex-wives, but it does show a rare moment of accountability from Kody Brown. Whether fans see it as genuine self-awareness or another attempt to control the narrative remains up for debate. What is certain, however, is that Kody's words reflect the high price of imbalance in plural marriage. Public displays of affection that might seem ordinary in a monogamous relationship became symbols of betrayal and favoritism in the Brown household. For years, the Sister Wives audience has watched this slow unraveling unfold. Now, with Kody himself acknowledging that his actions cost him dearly, the story feels less like reality television drama and more like a cautionary tale about love, fairness, and the complexities of plural marriage. As Kody moves forward with only Robin by his side, his confession leaves lingering questions. Can he and Robin rebuild their lives without the weight of guilt and resentment from the past? Will his children view this acknowledgement as a step toward healing, or will they see it as too late to matter? And most importantly, has Kody truly learned from the mistakes that cost him the family he once led so proudly? For now, the answer remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: Kody Brown's story continues to be a reminder that even the smallest gestures can change the course of relationships forever. And for him, the simple act of showing affection to one wife, in public and without restraint, was enough to bring down the family.